You're listening to the Tamale Club, bringing people together, one tasty tamale at a time. I'm Dan Beckford. I'm joined by my co-host, Judy Simmeroth, and Engineer Sam. Today we're going to have a discussion about a letter sent to the President of the United States from 6 California legislators. Did California Senator Brian Jones ask the President of the United States for amnesty against illegal aliens? What do you say?
He sure did, based on the letter he signed.
Yeah, recently, state senators Brian Jones, Suzette Valladares, I'm gonna obliterate this name right here. I think it's Rosilicie.
Rosilicie, Ochoa, Bogh.
Yeah. Anyway, they joined Assembly members Diane Dixon, Heath Flora, and Laurie Davies in a joint letter to the President Trump asking that consideration be made for agricultural workers in the state of California. In my humble opinion, the letter goes just short of requesting amnesty for illegal immigrant agricultural workers in California.
I think that the majority of the state senators also would agree with you, because my source tells me that they all met as a group. They decided against writing such a letter, and then they turned around and these 6 decided to go ahead and write the letter and sign it.
And my conversation with Brian Jones, he says it's not about amnesty, and you know, to the letter, it's not really asking for amnesty, but it is mentioning it's mentioning Ronald Reagan and what he did, and what Ronald Reagan did for H-2A visas and so forth, and that did involve mass amnesty, and it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be the ultimate, you know, it was going to end the problem altogether. But as we see, it didn't.
It has not happened, no.
It just created another exception. And that's why I feel this is going on here. I think it's just an exception to the rule. And every time we go into exceptions to the rule, it turns around and bites us in the end.
Exactly. And then we already have sanctuary state status. So I'm not really clear on what they wanted President Trump to act upon. Was this just a political move to support something to satisfy certain voters out there?
And I think it is, because right at the end there it says, we respectfully ask you to focus deportations on criminals and to support legal immigration and visa policies that will build a strong economy, secure our borders, and protect our communities. However, one could also argue just by being in the country illegally, you are criminal. So
it is against the law.
It is against the law, and I don't know that it's really hurting California. And I think what's really happening here is we do have an H-2A visa.
Correct.
And there's a lot of problems with that in my point of view. But it's not even they're not even encouraging these farmers to follow those laws, or to even really they're not discussing those laws. They're just saying, oh, you know what? Let's just make it easier for the illegals to come in and work the fields. And I'll tell you, and right off the bat, and it's probably going to offend a few people out here, fat-ass Americans are not capable of this labor anymore.
No, it doesn't seem like it.
No, because social services have made us collectively weak and incapable of this kind of labor. If you go back and you read The Grapes of Wrath, and it really talks about Central California and how whites, blacks, Mexicans, everyone worked the fields.
They did,
and it was backbreaking work. But we have gone so far outside of that. So I asked Google AI. Okay, I had to do it. Why don't farmers comply with H-2A visa, with the H-2A visa program?
What was the answer?
And it gave me quite a long answer. I'm not going to read through all of this, but I will go ahead and I will touch on the finer points of this. It says, for farmers, complying with the H-2A visa program can be a complex and challenging endeavor. Here are some of the hindrances: complexity and administrative burden. Okay, I agree. Paperwork, okay, but you got to do it, and truly, once you've done it once, you can do it 100 times.
It has
okay?
to be, systematic.
So they've just got to go out there and do that. Now, I do have to say, it says here that there's over 200 rules and bureaucratic processes, okay, that farmers find difficult to navigate. Again, they may have a difficulty the first time. They should be able to at the second and third and fourth time, they should be pretty easy for them. However, I'm all for getting rid of stupid rules and bureaucratic processes. Then there's the financial cost, and this is the most shocking. Is the amount of money that it does take to bring someone in. And I think we can do better. I think we can do a lot better because the United States is supposed to be making money off of the H-2A process. They're supposed to be making money off the laborers that are working for the farmers that are providing the food on our table. That's where the money should. So I'm not against them recouping some of the cost of processing. But they need to be really really fine tune this to the lowest possible cost. But right now, it's a $100 for the farmer. It's a $100 application fee. That's great. Okay, plus $10 per certified worker, up to $1,000. So if you're going to do 100 workers, there's your $1,000 max. Okay, you do 2,000 workers, it's still $1,000 max. A non-immigrant worker petition fee of $460. I don't know where that is or who's supposed to give that. I think the non-immigrant worker is supposed to come up with $460. They haven't gone to work yet.
Is that a one-time fee?
That's a fee every time they go for a H-2A visa.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So every time they come north to pick our stuff, it's going to cost them $460.
So they go home and then come back. They have to do it again.
You got to do it again. And then there's $190 visa application fee per worker. And again, why are we charging them so much money?
Money they don't have. That's very clear.
They haven't come to work yet, and they're coming to pick, okay, because they don't have money. And they don't have employment in their own country.
Correct.
So, but here's some of the other things that I did find not shocking, but it did catch me a little off guard. The employers are responsible for transportation and costs of the worker from the worker's home country to the work site. So you have to pay if you're getting someone from Mexico, you're going to have to pay their transportation round trip to and from Mexico. Well, that could be a bus. If you're doing 100 workers or even 60 workers, a bus, you can go pick them up and take them up to Central California or wherever your farm
Correct.
is, and that'll defray some of that cost. But you also have to cover transportation between the housing that you're going to provide to that worker.
That's another cost.
And the grocery store twice a week.
Wow.
Okay. So
yeah, these laws need to be changed.
Well,
who's making money off of all this?
Well, here's the thing: the farmer. You'd think the farmer is. You'd think the farmer is, but let's keep going.
These are fees to the government, though, right?
These are fees to the farmer. The farmer has to pay those transportation.
Yes.
Okay, and then housing and living expenses. You're bringing them in. They don't have a place to live. You have to give them a place to live. That free housing that meets federal, state, and local standards.
I'm sure there's regulations galore on that one.
Oh, man. You can't put them in a tent with a sleeping bag. No, it has to meet federal, state, and local. Well, figure it out.
Yeah.
Come on, we're in California. We can't even get the homeless off the street because you can't put them just anywhere.
No.
So that can be, it says here $9,000 to $13,000 per worker annually.
Wow.
Yeah, okay, but wait, there's more. You'd think that the wages for this worker, the wages would be cheaper, right?
Correct.
No. The farmer is required to give them minimum wage.
$20 an hour?
$20 an hour. Okay.
So why would you take all that extra fees and why not hire people that are here already?
Well, that's what they're doing. They're going ahead and hiring people that are here already. They're here already illegally. So they don't have to, they're not complying with the H-2A.
No, they're not.
Okay.
No.
And they're not paying all these other things.
No.
So even if they give them a good wage, even if they don't rip them off for being here illegally and having no recourse against them, which I believe they are.
Yeah.
But even if not, even if they're paying a minimum wage, they're not paying all these other fees.
No, they're not.
So that's why they're not complying with the H-2A program, in my opinion. And so I said, okay, well, what are some of the myths? And so I hit the American Farm Bureau Federation, and there's a really good article by Samantha Yob that debunks some of the H-2A myths. And of course now this is the American Farm Bureau Federation, so they have a stake in this. They didn't put this on their website because it was bad to them. But it says H-2A myth number 1: H-2A workers stay in the U.S. Long term. And it says H-2A workers must perform agricultural services of a temporary or seasonal nature. Now, temporary could be, in some instances, up to 3 years, according to some of the, some of this stuff here. But most of them, it's seasonal. It's 4 to 6 months, and that's all put together when they are applying for that H-2 visa. They have to give them a length of time that's going to take care of that job.
So they can figure out their fees.
Exactly. And it says H-2A workers take American jobs. The first step of petitioning to employ H-2A workers is proving that there's not sufficient workers who are able, willing, and qualified, and who are available at the time and place needed to perform the labor and services involved in the petition. And like I just said, fat-ass Americans they're physically enabled to take this very labor-intensive work on.
Well, they'd rather apply for welfare.
Exactly. And so we've gotten real soft. Very, very soft. Okay, it says myth number 3: H-2A workers are a form of cheap labor. As I just put down just spoke about. No, they're not.
Not cheap.
They're
nothing
not.
cheap about that.
No, but there's things we can do for that. We can certainly, but we have to have some H-2A reform. Okay, H-2A is only used by large employers, and that's not true. 2/3 of H-2A petitions request fewer than 10 temporary workers. H-2A is a small faction of the agricultural workforce. It's about 17%. H-2A workers have no legal protections, and that's not true. They have all every right that you have in the workplace. They have those rights. That's H-2A. But again, illegals aren't going to go and claim anything against their
They want to stay under the radar.
Exactly.
Because they want to come back.
Yeah. H-2A program must be working great for farmers based on the popularity and the growth, and that's not true because it costs too much money.
Yeah.
It just costs too much money. So after reading through this, I feel that the cost and responsibilities of participating in the H-2A program are because of that cost, the farmers are opting to hire illegals where they don't have to pay the minimum wage, they don't have to pay for H-2A processing, they don't have to pay for housing, they take no responsibility.
Less regulation on their part.
Yeah, exactly. And what's the penalty? Well, what we've seen so far is there hasn't been any penalty.
No.
When
no accountability, no penalties.
When I was talking with some people about this, that are where one of my questions was, well, why aren't they participating in the programs that would uncover these illegal workers there? And what I'm finding in California is you can't even ask the question.
Not surprised.
And
they're protected.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can't ask the question. So if you can't ask the question, how can you enforce the law?
You can't.
Impossible to enforce the law.
It's true for a lot of different industries as far as you can't ask. They've made it so hard for employers to ask pretty important questions, and then you can't answer the question, so it's just no point. There's just no point in it. I don't know. It's just
yeah. So what's the how do we get out of this mess? What's the solution?
What was the point of the letter? Why? What was the whole point of this letter that these 6 senators authored together?
I don't know what they were trying to do here. They were unfortunately this sounds like liberal talking points.
It does. Yeah. Well, I was going to say that because they're talking about making it don't be so cruel. Don't. But sometimes illegal immigration and going after them, it's not an easy job. And finding the criminals are out there. Sometimes they're mixed in with the non-criminals.
Yes.
So you have to gather them all up, and then you figure out who is who. And if you're here legally, if you're have a legal work status, they're not going to keep you. They're not going to deport you. But that's what the other side is trying to say.
I've heard that too, and they want to point to the powder coating company that was over
correct.
in El Cajon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was just horrible on everyone that worked there. Yeah, you got raided by a federal agency.
Not fun.
Okay, and yeah, they come in hard, they come in fast, because they're there to arrest people that aren't supposed to be in the country, and they don't know if anyone's armed or not armed or anything else. So, of course, now if everybody was following the law, then they certainly wouldn't be armed because there's no firearms in the workplace, right?
No.
Oh my gosh, no.
Can still carry, I'm sure.
But as we know, the illegal aliens there, and they're not complying with the law now. So
nope. Okay. Why would they? Yeah.
So
interesting.
I know it's tough, and having been on the receiving end of an FBI raid, it's not a pleasant experience.
No.
Okay, it doesn't matter if you're innocent or not.
Nope.
It's not a pleasant experience. So it's not. The accusation here was that in the Jones letter was that. We've heard from employers at our districts that recent ICE raids were not only targeting undocumented workers, but also creating widespread fear among the other employees, including those with legal immigration status. Yeah,
that's a left leaning right there. The whole sentence.
Yeah, fear is driving vital workers out of the critical industries, taking California's affordability crisis and making it even worse for our constituents. I think we need to be more concerned about the documented and legal status residents than the undocumented.
Correct. And let's see some numbers. Give us a percentage. If this is happening, it seems like it's so generalized on how they wrote this letter. It was just a lot of fear mongering.
It was. So
plain and simple.
Overall, I do applaud Senator Jones in a good many things. I don't think that this letter was constructive. It was just, it was. If you're talking about Reaganism, Reagan went and did mass amnesty, and so that's while you're claiming that that's not amnesty driven, that's who you're saying did a great job.
Correct.
Years ago.
Correct.
And so I think that two things here I'd take away from me. In two things is that I have serious concerns over the wording and the accusations that are in this letter, and I feel that it is just trying to get support for amnesty, and
correct.
I'm not about that. I think. If anyone's here illegally, they need to be gone ahead and go home for a little while.
It's against the law.
Come back legally. We have all the opportunity here for legal immigration, and you can also say that legal immigration is tough to get. In most cases, to get a visa to come into the United States is fairly easy.
Yes.
In most cases. And then once they're here, they can work on citizenship.
Correct.
And legal immigration. They can certainly do that. But they have to come in the door first, legally.
We have to know who they are, what their past is, who they're affiliated with. Are they a gang member or are they not? That's not very difficult to ask for those simple safety measures for the citizens and for the people that did it the right way. It's not right for them.
Yeah, and this is one of those 60% issues where 60%, more than 60% of the people, including legal immigrants, want the illegals rounded up and sent back.
Come back the right way.
Come back the right way.
Student, you can be a student, you can be a work visa. There's many avenues. Navy, many ways to get here.
Thank you for tuning in to the Tamale Club podcast. We appreciate it. Don't forget to visit us at YouTube/Tamale Club. While you're there, go ahead and give us a like. Hit that subscribe button. We appreciate it. You guys have a great day.